Hey everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel, Living the Country Life with Thomas Collins. This is part 4 of the Otter Creek Town Hall meeting. This is the final part. It gets good. Let's get started.
Walking into a mess of somebody who just didn't care, and they didn't do the things that needed to be done. So now there's people coming in that know nothing about trim, know nothing about a budget and all the deadlines, and if it gets messed up, we're gonna be penalized because they messed up last year and they don't do what they need to do. So we're not even gonna get a courtesy. I don't know why these emails were ignored or why these things weren't done, especially when, again, you had 3 people that were getting paid. So that's where we are on that one. We also need to talk about increasing the hourly pay for our town maintenance position. Currently, that position is getting paid $12 an hour, which is too low. So if there's any discussion y'all would like to have about that, I do believe he needs to be brought up to $15. Any input?
I would think it would be 18. He works out in the heat, and he follows up with all the responsibilities of the work plants, and he is on the job. I mean, he is not, Richard is paying attention to this stuff, and
He cares.
he's treated with that. I think he needs to come to 18 an hour, and his meetings, him coming to the meetings, because you see that he is prone to questioning at the meetings, he takes to his meetings as well. It's not, all that.
Let's make it $20 an hour. I'll put that in a form of a motion.
I'll second.
I don't sweat out there. It's appalling to me that he was getting paid so little, and the people that were in this office were making more. I don't
He
care.
climbs the top of these towers, he's up and down,
And he cares. I mean, he goes out of his way to check things on
he
his
goes
own
by in the
time.
morning, inspects everything, and by the afternoon, inspects everything.
I see that, man.
You couldn't ask for it, he does that.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second, correct? All in favor? Unanimous. Yay, Richard. And we're gonna be paying the employees bi-weekly now. They currently are being paid once a month, which, I mean, most places pay bi-weekly, so that's gonna change to bi-weekly. All employees need to fill out a current W-4, all the people on the board, get with Belinda, fill out a W-4, give your ID so that can be updated. All right, now we're gonna talk about splitting that clerk position into 2 part-time positions, clerk and bookkeeper. We've arrived.
I agree, I think the bookkeeping is definitely be split up from the administration portions of it, for 2 reasons. The first one is that it keeps all the finances in order and separated from them. We don't want one person solely responsible for everything, so that way if something does fall down, we can cover, but, and regain right back, but it gives us the freedom of this person taking care of one sections, they're only legally responsible for this was legally responsible for that. It's just too much power, you just give it to one person, they turn it in the past, in the town, in multiple cases, it has been turned around and used against people, that power.
And it's just too much responsibility when you should have those 2 things separated. And right now, there's a lot to go through with the mess, but once everything is on board, you might not even use the 30 hours a week. And that's the fact of that. So do I hear a motion to split this into 2 part-time positions? Do I hear a second?
It's set up like that.
To do what?
We budgeted, sometime last year, I think, and hired Angela for this assistant to the clerk.
Yeah, but we're gonna take that 30 hours and break it down instead of having 2 positions, so I just want everybody to be on the same page with it. Run it through the board,
when we made a motion to hire the clerk temporary and get the
It was
thing going,
temporary.
we didn't specify two positions. That's one reason why she's.
I just want everybody to
There needs to
be,
be two people here.
yeah, there does.
So I'll make a motion that we go to the second position too, and the second one, we'll do that.
So are you seconding it?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. That'll be very helpful. Okay, and as I said, we have the upcoming trim and budget that's gonna be going on. We also have the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust policy that needs to be renewed. So again, we need the clerk in here. We have the quarterly payroll with the federal and state that needs to be processed. The 2022 audit, the deadline for that to get done was the end of June. Obviously, we've passed that. So we're in a delinquent status on that audit. So that needs to get done within the next 6 weeks before we fall into some penalties, yes. So it's just a lot of things all at once, so it's very important to get this clerk position covered. Let's see, I just wanted to let you know, the previous clerk unfortunately was doing other things that weren't town business while at work. They were typing up documents for the church and documents for Meeks and Sons Plumbing and printing recipes for French toast casserole. Those are not the type of things that you should be doing on the clock. So again, we're not gonna be wasting money. Things will be getting done with the next person. Those are not acceptable practices. And let's see what else we got. The children's table, they originally had said something about every other Wednesday, but now we found out it's every other Friday at 1:30 p.m. It's a $7 donation, so if you're gonna come pick up food, make sure you bring a sturdy box or bag, $7. The next time they'll be here is on the 21st of July. The Catholic Charities was just here on Monday. The next time they'll be coming is August 14th at noon. And for the election termination reports, if you are a candidate and still haven't filed your termination reports, please get those in. Nobody in this room is one of the people, but I hope people check their emails or their mail and get those in. Ethics training, I did send out emails for the next ethics training will be in Chiefland on September 21st from 1 to 5. We are required to take that annually. So I need to send in a head count. If you signing up for that, are you able to make that date?
I had my ethics training back in February.
Do you have the printout for that?
I can certainly.
Okay,
if they-
yeah, that's fine, okay, just get that to me. And Russell, you said yes, and you're able to make that date, okay, then I'll put in an email to them and sign us all up for that, perfect. And other than that, let's see. In the future, we need to get more involved and assign tasks to the people on the board. I know we're gonna need someone to be the EEO and section 504 coordinator for the fair housing. So during the workshops, we can talk about what different tasks everyone would like to do to start getting more involved and getting things done. So I can expect that during the workshop, and we can talk about that more in detail. I had a question too about the fire truck next door. Is the only thing we use it for is that parade? Or
Pretty much. I make a motion to give that to the county.
the truck?
Or at least the fire equipment off of it.
That's my bike.
That fire equipment is on it, belongs
It belongs to
to
the
the
Force.
Force.
Yeah, I did email them, but I haven't heard back from them.
County's actually looking to buy a truck according to the meeting last night, and they would give fair market value.
Bronson's looking to buy a
The
truck.
county is, eventually looking to build a fire station, EMT station,
Mhm.
down there on the property that they bought. So, they can take the truck and use it.
How about a town maintenance vehicle?
There you go.
Yeah. Why don't
I
we?
think we're at least offering the equipment, the fire equipment back to the forestry department, and pursue that before we go further with it. And then turn it, and use it for maintenance, because your job's just tripping her all the time, but, you know, there's things you gotta haul and move and tow, and we really don't need to put that on this truck.
But would a golf cart or utility vehicle be better for what needs to be done in this town than a full-size pickup truck?
I agree that that would be, but the truck's paid.
But if we sold that truck and took the money from it to purchase what would be more suitable for the town, that might be something to think about.
The golf cart would be real good, it'd be, there'd have to be taxes on it, or not taxes.
I think we should look into what the fair market value of the truck is and see if we could sell it and buy a golf cart, which we could start doing some research and meet back about that.
Sealed bid?
Well,
The town of Bronson is actually looking for a heavy duty pickup.
it would be a, more than that, than that would be.
But, I mean, we definitely should do something, because this sitting there is wasteful. So I think we should look into what would be the better thing, if, what we could sell it for, what a golf cart. So let's do some research on that, and we'll discuss that more. We also, I'll get in touch with the forestry department about coming and getting their equipment off of it. So we'll do some more research on that and then meet back with our findings. Sound good? All right, and.
The, water quality, excuse me, the quality water report was mailed out, and we should have gotten that already by now. The internal agreement with the county is expiring or they're canceling it for the building and zoning. So we are seeking out, we've got two different companies we're working right now, and picking up a third. I'm trying to get some quotes from them, and I'm picking up for all the required things to do our own permits here through the town. Like our building official and the inspector. We've got two different contract companies right now we're working with, and we've got a third one that should be getting some numbers this week. This is something that we would like to put a pilot program in place next month, so that we can have this in place before the county says no more. And, which the county time is coming. It's, I believe it's the end of September.
I believe so. They did send out a notice about that no one was made aware of, that our interlocal agreement would be ending. So that was found.
Can you explain a little bit what that means? Some people may not know what that interlocal agreement was and why is it terminating.
Well, it's a contract because the town has no facilities to do permitting. And it was cheaper for everyone to go through the county than going through a subcontractor or a different source. The town revenues, if you count, the taxation of the town is so much lower than what every other town, city, and county is. There is no money in the budget here for us to provide the services that we are legally required to provide. You know, talking about lawsuits, I mean, we can't legally provide these services, and then our towns, we're opening up for more and more of these lawsuits. So we've got to get these things in compliance. Not only this, but fire protection and also law enforcement. And, you know, the streets out here, you know, we are required as a town to provide safe passage on public right-of-ways. And these streets are not safe at night, no lights, nothing out there. Yeah, the streetlights used to be in place, they went away back in the day, I don't know when or where or why. But, you know, all these things are things we have to start doing, we're gonna have to start providing these services. And, so, even if the town shut down and the county took it over, your taxes will go up. You're gonna go to the county standard, what it is, it's not gonna be what it is here now, it's gonna go up, it's gonna go up a lot more than it is now. So we need to start as a town, start finding ways of providing these services, so we can control how much it goes up. Otherwise, we have no control of it, it's just gonna jump instantly and there it
So an
is.
interlocal agreement in layman's terms was the county was helping support the town by doing some of those functions. Call the cops, they'd come, call the dog catcher, they'd come, and they would help with permitting. But now they're saying, we're not gonna do it anymore, we need you guys to stand these services up and pay for them and do them yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, well, some of the stuff was not part of the internal agreement, just the building. And, but, you know, the sheriff department, they will respond to a 911 call, but they're not gonna respond to a suspicious activity call, because we have no coverage for that. And it's gonna be, so we gotta find ways of getting this services. And the only options we have is either contracting law enforcement officer so many hours a week through the sheriff's department. I think the only other option we have is the city chief, is the other closest source we can use. Cedar Key is too far out, and there is no other law enforcement offices for us to really pull from to do a contract thing for. And what that do, that would be so many hours a week, and so they would control the streets, they'll control all this traffic that everybody's complaining about. You know, they'll control at night, there's all this activity on the street during the night, this suspicious activity that we can't call now, they don't bother. You know, but if we got one out here twice a week at night patrolling those zones and those times, they'll pick up on those activities and do that. But that's the agreement, so the things we're working on in place at first is building, zoning, things back in plot first, because that's the most crucial to the town. Because the town can't grow and develop enough money to get the taxes anywhere else except for by new development. To keep us from having to raise the base tax. There is, so, there is, during our workshops, that when all the council was here, everybody was coming, when we said, we announced it, that we're gonna be working in the office, going through all this stuff, we're gonna be digging through these records, we're trying to find everything and sort it out, and, invite everybody to come in here, to be here, to help. But, you know, as Teresa said, the only ones that showed up here was her, Belinda, Deanna. I was here some, but I was lost in all that, I'll just tell you right now. I was lost, it was such a mess that it was really easy to get lost. But, there's a lot of documents that was recovered that, that needs to be turned over to the state's attorney's office. And that's, you know, for them to proceed with the investigation and determine if it's criminal activity or if it's, prosecutable or not prosecutable. At this time, it's considered an investigation through them, and it will be, I'm certain, by the time we finish going through all of it, we'll probably find more. But that is the standing on that. Our water management meeting is next week with the pipelines stuff, we mentioned it earlier. Those should be, trying to give us some time frames so we can actually start setting our budgets on what we need to do here, one way or the other. Basically, it's long-term out, we've got to pursue the full deal. In the short term, we can patch up what we got and get to the short term, which I'm hoping that is the short term. But either way, that's not 100% answer to our water and sewage problems. It just means we're gonna have to rely on a bunch more grants to build a septic system and stuff and tile that in too. That's gonna require probably 4 different lift stations in town and 1 distribution system. say it's time to hook up. They're gonna give you so much time to hook up for without charging you. So if you don't do it within the time frame, when it becomes mandatory, you'll have to pay for the installation yourself. So don't neglect on this guy when it comes out, pay attention to it. When it comes, I'm sure we'll be going around, go door to door, remind everybody, these times are here, sign up now so you can get hooked up to your house. Listen, it's gonna end your septic tank nightmares if you have those. If you haven't had septic tank nightmares, you haven't lived in on the street.
Right.
Every time it storms here, you gotta find alternate routes for the bathroom.
And everyone is welcome to these meetings. They will be, I have them hung in both places, the post office out front. It's the 19th at 1 PM in Bronson. Everyone's welcome to attend. Anytime there's another one, I will hang and let you know. So I know in the past I want to attend this and I was not informed, so I'll make sure you're informed for whoever would like to attend.
So what do you do if you have a brand new septic, you have to hook up to this?
You will eventually.
It'll be,
It's gonna be a while.
And 11,000.
I feel you. We paid 28,000 first. But it'll be a while.
Like I said, usually when it comes into the grants, normally you get to hook up to it, they don't charge you to hook up to it. If you wait for that grace time to pass, then you do have to pay for it. So it is a service that this town needs, probably more than it needs clean water. Because there's so many houses in there so close together with septic tanks.
We never did find it.
Um,
There wasn't one.
I don't know
There
about
wasn't.
Is there anything else? Is there anything anybody on the board wanted to talk about? Russell, do you have anything? All right, public comment, was there anybody? Linda.
Yes, I wanted to let everyone
Oh,
know. I wanted to let everyone know, when Fred Fox comes to see us next month, our two grants that we currently have are our 1 million fiber optic. They're gonna explain how all of that's gonna work. They're gonna explain again what the cost is and what we have left of that money and how we can spend it. And we have our second phase of the water, the 660,000. There you go. They're going to explain exactly what that covers, when they're gonna start, when they're gonna finish. So if you have any of your questions, those are things that they're gonna be talking about, okay?
And they were gonna have something where people could come and sign up. There was like 6 free months of internet you would get, but they'll have it at the town hall so people can come and fill out the information rather than them going door to door. But, yeah, so they'll let you know more about that.
The fiber optics by who? Who's providing this?
I'm not sure if it's gonna be.
Our primary carrier will be Central Florida Power. All the buildings that
I'm
Right
signed
here.
up with them also.
You wanna pre-register for this fiber, cause if you don't, and they come through your area, you won't get notified, and when they leave, it's $100 fee to hook up. Free hookup, and you'll know ahead of time when they're coming, if
Yeah.
you sign up.
The free hookup is only for qualified people, it's not based on, I'm saying, it's not just free to everyone, it's only qualified.
And it's super cheap. You can't get 2 gig speed anywhere in the state for $100. Most places you can't even get 2 gig up and down speed.
I wish we provided it now. 'Cause we-
No, we need it.
I don't think they'll provide it.
Business pricing is different, yes.
Yeah, but it'll be different pricing for business, I'm sure. But I'm sure it'll still be cheaper than what we're paying for now, and what we have now is.
You really sometimes wait an hour for it to process something.
Other days you can get nothing done because it's just. Yeah, it's free.
Play the Jeopardy song.
Yeah.
Hey, did we find out anything about the panel board lightning strike? Is there any money coming back for that?
I don't
The,
believe,
the claim was filed, but none of the paperwork is there to back it up, the claim, so we have to pass on the claim. I don't from what I can tell, it's probably about $1,200, maybe less, maybe more. But, we can't find the invoices and the paperwork from the electrical and, or the.
Call Ken first and you'll give you another copy of it.
He wasn't able to decipher which one was which one was the lightning damage and which one was the other.
I got just one more question, I really, on the pumps, was there, the plumbing and the position of the pumps, did that cause them to fail prematurely? Can that be determined with any degree of accuracy or any assumption?
I'm gonna say that there's, room in any direction you wanna push that, how that could go. I could see how it would have been hooked up that way the first time and done it and it failed. But my background is that when the system fails, you finally leave it out, and that's where I see it from.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Carl?
Whenever y'all do the downgrading of the library, I would make a suggestion to consider our two local prisons, Lancaster and Cross City, because that's somewhere that they're always needing stuff like unwanted books and all for the inmates.
That's a great idea.
I can get with my institution when I go back in on Thursday and ask them what procedures are with that.
Okay, that'd be great. That's a great idea.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, me neither. Thank you, Carl.
I got one caveat. I would just like to thank you, because I know at home, a lot of stuff going on, you know, personally with the business and with the town, there's so much going on. There's a lot of deadlines, and sometimes, you know, I'm like, calm down, it's gonna be all right, one thing at a time, one deadline at a time, one paper at a time, one call at a time. But I just wanna thank you, I think you've done amazing, I knew you would. You're smart, you're attractive, you're all that.
Brent.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you are.
Was there any other comments? All right, I just want to thank everyone.
I got
Yeah.
Thomas Collins,
Yes.
I think you're doing a fantastic job
Thank you.
with the neighborhood and everything.
Thank you.
Cleaning it up, out in this heat, getting killed by mosquitoes.
I got bug
I don't know how you
spray.
do it, because
Bug
when
spray.
I walk the dog, there's 10 mosquitoes on me immediately.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I'm like,
Thank Thomas for all he's been doing to
No
help us
problem.
out. And
yes, I think.
I did it on my own.
that's what I'd love to see more of from everybody, because it makes it easier for everybody when we work together, right? So hopefully we see more of that in the future, and it's contagious. That would be great. I really appreciate everybody coming out, and I hope in the future everybody gets more involved. The board, the people, because we have a great town. It's ours if we want it. Otherwise, it's gonna be unincorporated if we can't do the things we need to do. Those are serious things.
Are y'all gonna ever get the park open again?
I would sure hope so.
Oh, yeah, we got, the new equipment was branded, and, we're waiting on the process for the legal status is there to change over so that we can have, actually come and get it. You know, they're just like we have to do for, even for volunteer days, we gotta coordinate these things, anything on the right of way, anything town-wise, their property has to do the same thing. And, so we can get it, but they're waiting for a changeover of their property to be able to get that equipment. It's really some nice equipment.
Yeah. There's lots of exciting things that we can start doing. I went to a Bronson meeting last night, and I have to commend them. It was great to see their board and how involved they were, and the people, everything was great, and I hope that we can be more like that in the future with everybody being involved. That's all I have to say. Good. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Everybody in favor? All right. Well, thank you, and everyone have a good night. Meeting adjourned. Russell, I think
So that means I come to work tomorrow?
Make sure you leave your microphones on the table so they can.
It's a pretty good meeting.
tomorrow.
See you next time.